Greg Jennings and Sean Merriman are back. Time for a big story. Let's move to the NFL, where the controversial no call at the end of the NFC Championship game is still hanging over the league. After two Saints fans filed a lawsuit against the NFL, the league admitted in court documents that the officials blew the call. And while a lot of people are now calling for more replay, Fox's rules expert Mike Pereira has a different solution, saying the league should add, quote, an eighth official as part of the crew, travels with the crew, and give him the ability to be on site in an enclosed booth with a technician to look at the play on television in real time and correct obvious mistakes that are big plays that involve player safety and pass interference, and be able to correct some of this stuff. I completely agree with Mike here. I've said for a long time that I think it should be maybe 2 or 3 officials calling the game from above. I would maybe go down to 5 or 6 actually on the field and use 2 or 3. I think the view from above, this game moves so fast now that watching the game from above and trying to officiate from above with the help of television is a great way to improve the game.
I like it. I really like it. I'm not in love with it. I think it's a step in the right direction, but it doesn't get us to the proper conclusion. It's still a little half pregnant for me. If you have someone on site watching as an official, that's obviously going to enhance it. Using the technology is going to enhance it. But I have something that I think will really just solve it and just get us to the finish line. We have to use the technology. This is 2019. The NFL is making $25 billion. Let's use the technology. It's funny, I watched tennis, and I was watching Australian Open. I'm sure a lot of us. Their instant replay system not only is effective, but guess what? It's interesting. People are sitting there holding their breath, rooting, is it in, is it out? Oh, and everyone's a part of it. Here's just how you get everyone a part of it, and this is how you solve it. You have a control center back in New York, back at the NFL headquarters. He's watching every game. Just like when we watch multi-channels, he's watching the game, dedicated officials for every game. You use the technology when a flag is thrown. Hey, sensor goes off. IFB in the official's ear. Let's discuss this right now. While the game is still going on, you talking to him, he already threw the flag. He already knows what it is. You already know, right? We can communicate in those 10 to 20 precious seconds. The viewer it's seamless to us. And then finally, when you get there, it's a moment of truth. I threw that flag, it's confirmed back in the headquarters, or I picked that flag up. I don't want to disturb the pace of play. We move forward. To me, that's an easy fix. And with the technology and resources, we can make that happen right now.
I like what Mike Pereira is saying. And obviously, if he's saying it at being in that position, he knows what's needed and what's necessary. But I was going to say the same thing. Let's communicate. The quarterbacks can talk to their offensive coordinators from the booth. They get a certain amount of time. Let's communicate with it. The officials should have an open line of communications at all times.
Yes.
Did we get this call right? If we did, then keep moving on. It eliminates the delay in the game, going to a booth, waiting for somebody to call in and say, okay, we corrected this. No, to your point, that is a great solution to a situation that has to be resolved.
Yeah, I think that's a really good start. But even more importantly, I think that the referees need to be paid year-round. You know, I think that, it's too much on the line because some of these refs during the offseason have other jobs.
Well, they have 24 full-time officials, but I hear you.
But, it needs to be more referees with full-time jobs because these rules and the game is consistently changing. The rule book's growing every year. Something changing. It's special teams here, and it's so many changes that only you have a certain amount of time to make a big judgment call during the game. And if these guys aren't keeping up with times because it's not enough of them to be on the clock year-round, because look, when I'm not getting paid and you only bring them in for a certain situation, that's how much knowledge I'm putting into the game. Yeah. That's how much I know. So I think they need to not only start out with that, but also bring more referees in to work year-round. Because when you're not getting paid, you're not involved, and you kind of, even as players, once you mentally check out from the game. These guys making these judgment calls can't check out from the game at any point in time. It's too much on the line.
Well, this spurred from the fact that you just look at all the instant replay systems that work in various sports. Bill Belichick going on record saying all plays should be reviewable. Now, us knowing the technology that exists and sensors and the communication, and I could be having a two-way conversation with headquarters, with the head official at all times during the moments. There was a moment when we played, and you remember the little RoboCam?
Yep.
And when they first introduced that, and everybody was like, oh no, this is too much. What is it going to do? It's going to hit the ball, and it's going to affect the huddles. Now, that's commonplace. I think we just need to have some forward thinkers who are saying, this is a simple fix. All plays, like Bill Belichick said, should be reviewable, can be reviewable, and it doesn't have to disturb the time.
I like your idea. I think it's going to require more manpower because sometimes on a play, there's 2 or 3 flags. And so you're going to need more than one ref watching a single game and communicating with these guys. And that's why I say maybe 5 guys on the field, 3 guys in the booth. I do agree that there needs to be more communication because the refs make a lot. You know, as an offensive line, I see too many holding calls that I completely disagree with. Just because a guy beats you upfield and your arm is to the side and whatever, and I see him calling the hold, I was like, man, that's ridiculous. So I agree. The officials need more help, some communication from above. Greg makes a great point. We helping the quarterbacks on the field. We're communicating with them. We're communicating with the linebackers. Why aren't we communicating with the referees? And Sean's right. These referees should be full-time and they should be working practices throughout the week. Practice makes perfect.
And all that added up, it's still going to be some plays.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Perfect.
All right, coming up, Anthony Davis's trade request has LeBron's fingerprints all over it. But are he and Magic Johnson on the same page? Chris Haynes and Dante Jones join the show.